Hey rally fans, so today we're going to take a look at two different Datsun 240Zs that were rally cars. This one you're looking at now is from Greenlight. So this thing won the East African Safari Rally in 1971. It was the overall winner, this number 11 car. And this is following up on the Datsun Bluebird number 4 winning the 1970 Safari Rally. So this car here is a 2.4 liter inline 6-cylinder making around 200 horsepower, a little over that. And it's running on 14-inch wheels, and that brings up the point that these wheels are not accurate. This is the one major flaw here from Greenlight, it seems. Even the wheel back there is not accurate. So just for a quick comparison, look at these are the wheels that are on the real car. They look like some sort of forged black aluminum wheels or something. The wheels that are on this Greenlight are from the BRE road racing car. So Greenlight didn't feel it was necessary to make specific wheels for this version of the car, even though this is a pretty significant part of racing history. The East African Safari Rally is judged to be the hardest rally on the rally circuit. You know, some people say it's like 3 or 4 times as difficult as a regular rally because these guys are running over rocks and have to avoid cattle and all sorts of issues. So if you just look up the rally, you'll see crazy pictures of cars trying to get through it. And a lot of cars don't even finish this rally because it's so grueling. Okay, well anyways, let's get back to the review of the model here. So obviously the wheels are just totally off, but the graphics are great because they're not decals, you know, they're tampo printed, so these graphics should last a long time. They do seem to match up with most of the graphics on the car. And even this little orange turn signal or reflector, it's sticking out, so that's a pretty good casting. And then the most prominent feature for me is looking at these giant auxiliary lamps here. You know, sadly with Greenlight they didn't bother to put in lenses into these auxiliary lights, but at least the main headlights are plastic, so it could have been worse. You know, it could have all been painted. Some pictures do show another light here, but obviously the picture behind that you just saw, and we'll compare again to later, it doesn't have the light here. So I guess that's alright. It does have this opening hood. Even in black, that's a big panel gap, right? I mean, if you multiplied that gap by 64, it would be like a gap that wide, which I don't think has ever existed on a real car. Even the very first cars probably wouldn't have a panel gap that wide. And call me crazy, but I thought this had an opening hood. But I don't want to force it. It doesn't seem to want to open. But I would guess even if I could open it, it's going to be a pretty lame engine because it's going to be die-cast metal. So for me, I just don't know why they would waste their resources making this stuff. Just add plastic lights instead and make a realistic car. Alright. Anyway, so we got some silver trim around the windows, and that does seem accurate here, at least on the side. The front, though, it should be black. It should be black trim, at least on this number 11 car. Okay, I'm not sure about the back. And yeah, obviously that wheel is totally wrong. Another thing I noticed that is nice, the drivers' names are printed on here. I think I saw that. Yeah, so that's accurate. Okay. And then we do have the painted tail lights. They seem alright, you know, for paint. They're well broken up, you know, orange, white, red. So, and then the excuse me, the license plate and this rally badging seems pretty good. So it's legible, it's good. Unfortunately for mine, it's got this scratch going right through the tampo printing, and it came that way right out of the packaging. So some quality control problems, you know, from Greenlight. Just this plain black interior, which I guess is expected for this price range. You know, it's molded details, but you can't see much of it because of the color choice. But I'm sure the real car, when I look at the photos, it has a black interior, so Greenlight did the right thing. Okay, so if anyone's interested, the bottom is riveted with one thing. There's a tongue and groove. You can see it right there going into the back. And what's nice is we know what car it is and what year it was from, who made this model, so that's good. Treaded tires look pretty nice. So all in all, I think it's a good model of a really historic race car. I'm happy to have in my collection. So yeah, pretty good. I recommend it. Alright, so let's put this up here. Now the next car, let me back out again, I guess. So you can compare a little bit. If you want to pause, you can compare the photos there of that car right there. You want to pause. Okay, so the next one here we have from a company called Dydo. This is listed as a Fairlady Rally type, but it's really, I guess these cars are listed as Datsun 240Zs in history at least. And so this is the car that ran in Monte Carlo in 1972. This number 5 car. Yes, he says number 5. So it came in 3rd place in that rally. This is before the WRC even existed. So this is the premier rally of the year. And unfortunately lost out to the Lancia Fulvia Coupe that came in 1st, and a Porsche 911S that came in 2nd. So same engine size, 2.4 liters, but making around 220 horsepower, and it's running on 14-inch wheels. If you want to pause it, here are the other cars in this series. And then in the back, we have this guy here, who I don't know who it is. Some other viewers have asked. I don't know. Maybe it's the guy that owns Dido, or someone that championed this line of cars for Dido to make. Not sure. But you got some nice photos. And then you can kind of figure out these stats. I'm guessing its overall length. Let's see here. It weighs 985 kilograms, 2-seater, front engine, rear wheel drive. 2393 cc's or 2.4 liters, making around 150 horsepower. So, yeah, the internet might be wrong, or this packaging is wrong. The internet told me it's like 220 PS. So, who knows? I don't know. Okay, 14-inch wheels, and this thing will go 205 kilometers an hour. So I'm gonna not make you guys watch me put this together. I'll be back with the finished model. So give me a sec. Alright, maybe I will have you guys watch me put it together, because I wanted you guys to see the interior, because once I put the thing in together, you won't be able to see what's happening here. I do like the fact that it's got this molded in spare wheel, and it matches the period correct wheels. Granted, there's no air passing between the spokes, but the shape of these wheels is correct to the real car. So Dido did a better job than Greenlight by far. Alright, so yeah, you just take off the interior, pop in the axles, and then this little tongue and groove goes into the back, and let's see if I can get it right here. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. And then we have one little screw holding the front. And then it came with this little extra plastic piece for a skid guard, and it covers up that screw, so I think that's pretty cool. If you really care about the realism of the bottom of a model. I don't really, but it makes sense. So that looks pretty realistic, and this model is from 2003, 2004, and it's got some tire tread, pretty good detail on the bottom, really. It might be, well, I guess the real exhaust pipe might actually be just raw steel, so no silver paint is probably necessary. Okay, well anyways, let's start on this side here. So looking at the printing again, it's tampo printed, so it's not going to fall off in the future. It does seem to be pretty accurate. We can read the racers' names there: Rauno Altonen and Jean Tot. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing those right. One thing that does seem odd though is look how far forward this wheel is. Should it be that way? It might be, because looking at the photos of the real car, and the tire does seem to be forward in the wheel well. I'm not sure. I'll have to check later. Although this doesn't seem right. I don't think the rear wheel would be that far forward, so... seems like it... I'm not sure. What do you guys think? I think those wheels look a little messed up in their placement. They're not really centered with the wheel wells. Okay, well... anyways, what's nice here is we got the separate plastic bumpers. And actually, if we go back to the Greenlight, I think this front bumper is just cast in and painted silver, so that's lazy on Greenlight's part. But the rear bumper is a separate piece, or no, it's not. No, it is a separate piece. So the rear bumper is separate, but the front, they saved a little money and just painted it silver. So, interesting. Okay, so what about the front on this one? Now this does actually look pretty accurate to the photo. It's got this weird drop down light bar, and then the 4 lights are just in front of the grill. So unfortunately not inserted, but yeah, what can you do? And then this one actually has light covers, the light lens covers, whereas the previous one didn't. It just had the headlamps exposed. Another sticking out reflector, so that's pretty good. Going to the top, and we got the badging here, Rally Monte Carlo, and the license plate. Those seem accurate. There should be a Datsun badge here though, and that's missing from this car, but it's on the Greenlight. So we'll compare the two. I'll pull out the tray of comparison after this. Alright, so looks like a little bit of paint rash here, pretty common on red diecast. There's that spare wheel, and then most Didos have painted on taillights. The Silica actually has plastic inserts front and rear, but every other one I have has painted taillights. But it's okay. Looks a little clean, a little too clean for a rally car. Okay, little bump here as well for probably a red reflector. So all in all, I think again this is a pretty good model. I don't know how much these Didos cost when they're new, but I can't imagine they're much. I bet they're probably like $5 if I had to guess. So for $5, I think that's, even if this was $10, which I know it wouldn't be, this is a pretty cool model. Except for the wheel spacing, that does seem odd. You also notice the curvature of the sidewalls. I'm not sure. You have the tread, how it sticks out there. I don't know if that's accurate. Maybe, I don't know. One other thing I'm noticing that's nice is the interior can be seen pretty easily because there are no side windows. Right? So yeah, and this one you can really see the interior, whereas the other one you got the distortion of the molded plastic windows. So I also now notice the silver painted door handles and key lock, and both cars have that. So in fact, why don't we actually start comparing these two models side by side. So Greenlight here, this is the older car from 71, this is the 72, and yeah, right, so the Greenlight just has exposed headlamps, whereas these have that cover. You'll notice it looks like this car is wider, this model. This is looking a lot narrower. They're about the same height. Okay, what about the top view? Yeah, I think now you can really see the width of the cars. The Dido is wider. I'm not sure which would be more accurate, to be honest with you. Okay, but you see, this is what I like about non-opening hoods. All these panel gaps are consistent, right? But this, you can kind of tell that gap is a little bit wider. It's really hard to, maybe some of you guys can't tell, but I can tell the difference. I can tell that's an opening panel, or supposed to be, whereas that's not. So that's why I don't like opening panels. It's not consistent with the rest of the model. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, so the back glass is much bigger here in the Dido as well. And the Dido has no extra paint for the molding of the window, whereas Greenlight does have the silver molding. So that's good on Dido's part. Just the wheels are not good. And then we got, both have license plates, so those are good. Both have painted rear taillights. I have to say, maybe the Greenlight's better. I mean, I'm not sure if, this is just the way the 71, 72 looks. I'm not sure. But, it looks like a lot more detail here. Although this is much cleaner in its application. This is almost like TLV cleanliness. Whereas this is definitely sloppier looking. It's not actually horizontal. This one is more horizontal. So, okay. Well, let's see, side by side, that side views. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull this off easily. So, because the top car is using the road racing wheels, they look a little big. The tires on this look really big, right? It almost looks like a moon buggy. Whereas I think the Dido below, the size of those tires seem more correct to me. I might be wrong. But definitely the wheels on the Dido are pretty much accurate. Whereas these, again, that's a big issue. They could have at least painted these black. Why would they be silver wheels? I don't know. Okay, well anyways, neither of these models are expensive. You could still track both of these down probably pretty cheap. Well, I guess that's a relative term if you're a Hot Wheels collector. But if you're collecting premium brands, these are on the less expensive side. So let's pan back out here so you guys can maybe pause the video and compare for yourself. You know what you think might look more accurate. Alright, so okay, well guys, I guess like these rally cars used to do, I'm just gonna slide on out of here.